Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Centre Wales. We're going to do a series here on student survival. So we're going to have a week of student survival, and between us we've got a lot of experience in this. My name is Mike and I'm a life coach and hippie dad, but no hair, as you can tell. And this is...
I'm Meg, I'm Mike's daughter, and I'm a third year music student, so I've got lots of student experience.
Well, that was very university challenge, wasn't it? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through a series this week, and some of the topics that we're covering are, we're going to go through stuff about money, what to do when the money comes in, and how to keep as much as possible and not pay a lot of interest on debt and stuff like that. And Beck, what else are we doing?
We'll be giving some kind of tips of things that are good to bring along to uni that really helped me, and we're also going to be giving a cooking lesson one day this week with some kind of basic guide on how to do some dishes, and we've got some fun stuff in store. Excellent,
so it should be fun. So check out all the other videos, like and subscribe this, and give us a thumbs up because we need all the encouragement we can get. And stay tuned for some fun. Take it easy. Ta-da!
Bye!
Hello. So this is all about money coming in. So what do you do with all that vast amount of money coming in? If only, eh? But so I'm just going to run through a few things, and then Meg's going to give you all her hands-on life experience about this sort of stuff, and between us hopefully you can pick up some tips, so when you get your hands on the mullah you can keep more of it. So firstly, we have money whether you work jobs or you get it from your parents or whatever, but you know, it's quite rare, actually I can't say nobody, but it's quite rare where somebody would sit you down and say, this is how you deal with money. This is what you do when the money comes in. This is how you deal with debt. Very rare. So we're going to touch on just some of that. And so this one is about the money coming in. And what I would recommend is a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, I'm a life coach. I help lots and lots of people, and this is one of the areas in which I help them. And I recommend this book quite a lot. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on, I think you can get it on Audible, I'm not sure, but you can get a second-hand one for a couple of quid. And it's basically, the Richest Man in Babylon is basically a story about somebody that was so much in debt that he had to sell himself into slavery and work his way out of that. And it's really good because it's broken down, it's a little story, it's easy to follow tips. And I really could have done with this when I was much younger, and I would have had a different life, but obviously I've had the life I've had. So what I'm going to do now is just explain a few things. That the money coming in is mostly yours to do with what you want. And I'll say mostly because I'll hand you over to Meg, and Meg's about to explain just some of the life stuff that you've had. So Meg, tell me about your... so you get big lumps of money coming in one go, don't you, as a student?
I think this is probably one of the hardest things when you become a student, because probably for the first time in your life, you just have a set amount of money in your bank account and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all of this? I'm like rich. But then it's making sure that that sum lasts the whole term. So what I knew before I went to uni, what I decided I wanted to do was split it up so that every month I had a kind of salary. And this would mean as well that sort of no matter even if you get yourself in a sticky situation one month, spend more than you should, you only kind of have to make it a few more weeks and then you get more money. You're not going to blow your whole student loan. So what I decided to do, which was based on the teachings of The Richest Man in Babylon, which Dan will tell you a bit more about in a minute, is I set up 4 bank accounts before I went to uni. Not one bank account, but 4 separate like savings accounts with one with Santander. So I have my main current account. This is a student account. It's really important to shop around for these because you often get really good free stuff with them. So I have my main current account. This is what you'd expect, where this is all my outgoings go out of. The majority of this comes out of there, and it's also where my student loan initially comes into. But then when it comes in, I pay it straight into the first of one of my alternate bank accounts, which I call my lump sum. So in this lump sum account, I put all of my student loan, and I set up a standing order to myself every month with a salary, and I work that out divided by the number of months I want it to last. I do it 12 because I like to keep having the money over the summer, but you might just want to do it while you're in uni if you have a summer job. So I divide it up and I make sure to leave some left over for in this account for things like when you have to pay your house deposit, if you have a car, if your car breaks, you know, just like a just in case pot. So this comes into my current account, and then from here, 10% of this straight away goes into my 10% account. And this account is for money that I don't touch. I haven't spent any of it. This is my long-term savings for investments. One day, I hope it'll be my house deposit that I save 10% of what I have every month into that account. And my other account, I call my 5% account or my fun account. So this is 5% of that money that comes in every month goes into this account. And this I have more freedom with, but I save this for if I want to go on a holiday, if I want to have a day trip to London with my friends. This is my kind of my fun expenses that I might not be able to afford anyway. So that's based on the principles of the teaching of the richest man in Babylon. It works very well for me, might not work for you. Would you like to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, the book is quite old, and I don't know if it's as old as I am. I think it is, actually. I think it's a bit older. But I think Meg explained it really well. So basically what happens is whatever money you have, whether it's the student loan, maybe you get some grants or bursaries, we'll talk about that in a minute, and or jobs, again, we'll talk about that in a minute. So once you have your money coming in, it's really important not to just think, hey, you know, it's party time, what can I buy, what can I do, you know, let's go a bit wild with this. But even though what I'm trying to be sensible in a roundabout sort of way. But so you get your lump sum, and then you think this lump sum needs to last this period of time. However, just like Meg just said, if it lasts whatever amount of weeks, that money needs to just divide it by that amount. So let's make my maths really easy here. So if we've got £1,000 come in from somewhere, then 10% of that needs to go into the recommend reading The Richest Man in Babylon, and explains in detail about this, and it's a great, easy to follow story. So you put that into there because long term, you're not always going to be in university. You're going to be finishing, you'll be finding some work, you'll be maybe taking a year out, but sooner or later, you'll be in a position in your life where you want to make future purchases, such as a house or other things like that. And so this is where that money comes in. So the money comes in, you put 10% into that, and then 5% of that into a fund, and the fund is exactly as Meg explained. So if you join any societies or groups or whatever it is, and they say, we've got this tour going here, you can put your hands on the money if you're not in a position to ring the bank of mum and dad and say, you know, can I have this money to do that? Because not everybody can. And so this is really aimed at people that really have to be sensible, and so this is a good start. And if you follow that principle through with all the other stuff, what you'll find is when you leave uni with actually some savings, some brilliant experiences, because you'll be able to do the things that you want to do, and you won't have to say no thank you and come up with an excuse because really you rang with the mullah. And you've got great principles to carry on with the rest of your life with, which would be great. So should we talk about other types of money coming in, Meg?
Yeah. So let's first of all, should we talk about grants?
Brilliant. Let's talk about grants. Wherever you are, we're obviously in Wales. Maybe the accent is a slight giveaway. Maybe I should have a flag in the back or something. But so in Wales we have a different system to England and a different system to Scotland, or if you're a national student, wherever you are in your country. So it's worth looking at not just the regular grant, the regular stuff you get coming in, but actually it's worth looking at what else you can get, because there is money available. And even if for whatever reason you're not able to get the full amount of money, you should be able to get, and if you are able to get some, even if a small amount is better than no amount. And so look into the grants. And where do you think people could look for grants, Meg?
Well, quite often the university might offer you a grant. You might be contacted by this for yourself, or you might, if you just get in contact, have a look at the list of grants they offer and see whether you think you're applicable to any of them. There's lots of grant funding bodies in the UK that you can explore. Student Finance Wales offer grants as well. I'm not sure fully about England because obviously we're not English, but just look around and be prepared to do a little bit of research because it can really help you in the long term.
Was that just like a search on a search
Yeah,
engine?
just on search engine, just type in maybe grants for UK uni students, for example, and see what comes up because you never know.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Brilliant tip. Okay, so, and then there's other stuff that the university might be able to help with. There might be bursaries if you come from a low-income family, or is that right? Did I get the word right there?
Yeah, bursary. Yeah.
And then there's also could be scholarships. Now, to get a scholarship, you don't have to be some amazing, wonderful person. There's scholarships available for different levels and different reasons. So it's worth trawling through your University of Choice website and try to do a search on scholarships and see if there's anything there you can apply for. Would you say it's worth applying?
Definitely. So in my first year, I got granted a composition scholarship, and I'm not some, as I said, I'm not doing a music degree. I'm not some absolute phenomenal composer. I'm not John Williams or who did Star Wars. I'm not anyone absolutely incredible. But
that's a shame.
But I enjoy it, and I thought I've got nothing to lose by submitting this composition. And then you go in on your applicant day when you're there anyway. I had a little interview, and I won a scholarship. And the department gave out loads of scholarships. And then when I met my friends in September, some of them didn't even know about these. So get in contact with your department. It'll probably just be, so for me, it'll be music at, and then the university that you go to, that'll probably be the email. And also have a look at the general ones, because there might be other things and things you might not think about. You might be good at a sport, and there might be a sports bursary in the societies. You never know. So just have a little look, I would say.
Absolutely.
You have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And if there's something to gain, great. And if you don't get something, all you've done is invested some time, and it hasn't paid off on this occasion. So as Meg said, there's nothing to lose. Emails don't cost anything, do they? And so this is kind of, I don't think we've missed anything, have we? The sort of official money coming in here.
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
Okay. Now, there's other ways that students can earn money. So we're focusing here on before you go to uni. This is a whole series. And some of it is when you're there, what happens when you're there. So one of the things that when you're there is some people have jobs, don't they? And some people don't. So what's your experience with work?
So I had a job. I've had a job pretty much all through uni, but I waited I didn't get a job until the second term of first year, which for me was important to I wanted to settle in, find my routine and find my feet before I took something else on. You might not be in a position, you might need to take a job on straight away, and I know people who did that and have had no problems. But I had what I think is a great student job. I worked on a box office in a theatre, which I absolutely loved. But I have friends doing, and you often think about student jobs and you think, oh, okay, I can work in a bar, in a restaurant, in a cafe, or a shop. You think those are your options. But you need to really think about the skills that you have. So for example, I have friends who do netball coaching in a local school, and I've got friends who lead a local choir. They just get in contact, and there's people who do all kinds of stuff that people are often looking for part-time things, and never play down your qualifications either. Always up yourself, and you're in uni, you've done really, really well. You obviously had some kind of good academic success to get there, and don't take that for granted. Play yourself up, and you have a lot of skills.
Brilliant. That's really good. As you was talking there, I've just realised something, that most people's idea about jobs is shift work. So, I've got a shift on a Thursday night or Saturday afternoon or whatever the case may be. But some jobs are actually piece. So there's all sorts of other things. There's things you could do. As your age group would be brilliant, because there's things like mystery shopping, for instance. So, by the way, if you go into a mystery shopping a proper site, nobody should be asking you for money. You just put your details in and you go through some stuff. And so that's just one example. There's also other things like bank work. So I don't mean actually in a bank. I mean, like, if you, as Meg said, if you've got skills that you can offer, then maybe catering or something like that. And the other thing is, I know somebody that runs choirs, and she sometimes needs extra pianists to help with the practicing. What do you call it? The rehearsals. I couldn't remember the practice of choir rehearsals. So sometimes, maybe you're the type of person, you don't want to commit to a job, but you want some extra money now and again. So it's not a case of either or. There's a whole grey area where you could do stuff. And so extra money is great. And in addition to the extra money, you'll also be learning brilliant people skills, because you learn how to deal with people, interact with teams, have responsibility for turning up, being on time and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually a very good skill to have.
I'd also say as well, think about tutoring, because you can do this either in person or online. On top of everything that Dad said, I think having flexibility is great. And if you're in uni, even if you only did the subject for A-level, or sometimes even if you only did it for GCSE, you can tutor kind of primary school children. And this is, like Dad said, just a bit of money now and again. You might say do a Thursday evening and make 20 quid, and you do that every week, but that might be your food shop for the week. So I'd say that's a good option to look into.
And that's really important. And when you're thinking about extra money coming in, rather than putting a monetary value on it, thinking, oh, should I bother with that? It's 20 quid. As Meg just said, that's actually, it could be the food shop. So if you start thinking, well, actually, if I do one shift here, that's my food taken care of for the week. Or if I do another shop, that's me getting absolutely hammered on a Saturday, or whatever the case may be. Not that I'm sure Meg never drunk at all. No, she's probably very good girl. So whatever happens, look at the different opportunities. Don't be put off with stuff because you haven't got experience. A lot of people in the different skill sets that you're going for actually look for values more than they look for experience, because you can always be taught how to do things like use a till, but you can't be taught the values. That's something you have to learn. The values such as being honest, reliable, turning up on time, not smelling too bad, that sort of thing. So absolutely, whatever it is, if you get an opportunity to have some more money coming in, it takes the pressure off you. It allows you to enjoy life a bit more, and takes the pressure off. Your parents keep helping you out, and it means if you're lucky enough to be able to say to your parents, oh, can I do this or can I do that? That's brilliant. But that money has to come from somewhere for them as well. And so if you will say, I'm going on this trip and it's the third thing that you've asked for in a week, even if they wouldn't want to say, it might put a strain on them. So be careful that you generate a nice balance with what you've got going on. Because it's easier as a parent, I'm aware of this, I want Meg to have a brilliant time and anything she can, but somebody chopped down my money tree, so now I have to work for it. So there we are. And so I think at the moment, we've covered a lot of stuff on money coming in, haven't we?
I agree.
Do you think we've missed anything?
Not at all. I think that's a good comprehensive guide of kind of ways that you have money in. And if you have any suggestions, if you're a student or you have had thoughts, let us know in the comments, and it could help other people. And we'd be also really interested to know. It could help me.
Brilliant. That's actually a very, very good idea. Drop us a comment with your ideas, and if you've already done uni and you're just looking at this because you want some entertainment, but if you're just looking at this, drop us a comment. When you was in uni, how did you manage? What's the best tip you can give somebody from your experience? Even if you're still in uni, if you're even second year, third year, whatever it is, if you're doing a PhD, it doesn't matter. What can you comment on this subject, or how to deal with money coming in? Drop us a comment. We would love to read those, and you will may be able to help somebody else. Do you think? Definitely,
yeah. And just to finish that off, I think if you're about to start uni and you have another question that you don't think was covered, let us know that as well, because we might be able to answer it, and we might be able to help you out. So engage with us. We'd like to chat to you.
That'd be nice. And finally, at the end of each of these vids, we're going to do a tip, aren't we? We're going to do a tip. So my tip on this subject is find this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and have a read. It's only a small book, my type of book, small book, nice and easy to read. It's a story. It's quite a pleasant story, actually. And each chapter's then got some hints and tips, and it's got it's just got easy things to put into place. And I have to say, I read this book about, oh gosh, probably more than 20 years ago. That's all the book is, more than 20 years ago. And it changed my life. And without learning the stuff in there and applying it, which is even more important, I wouldn't have been able to start my first business. And so that changed my life that much. So it's an amazing book. It's really, really good. Richest Man in Babylon. And we have no interest in this. I'm not going to make anything on this at all. I just hope that somebody out there will read the book, get something from it, and it would help them as it's helped me. And Meg, what's your tip?
My main tip is, even if you don't follow what we've spoken about today with the kind of the way you split it up, or it's not your thing, I would say don't just have one bank account, because I think it just makes everything confusing. You don't know where your money is, you don't know what you're doing. I would say try and have some kind of division, whatever that looks like for you. But what we've spoken about and what's in The Richest Man in Babylon is a really good model of what I can say works and what Dad can say works.
Absolutely. Brilliant. And that's a good tip, actually. Don't have just one big bank account and spend money like a millionaire for the first month and then be in all sorts of trouble. Okay, so I'm Mike, and
I'm Meg,
and take it easy, and we'll see you at the next one, which you can either watch straight away, or if it's the first week one out, you got to wait till tomorrow. But either way, ta-ra, bye.
Bye.